you said that none of the senior generals in the American Department of Defense want to fight in Ukraine. And since you said that to me, you've written a brilliant and terrific piece in Foreign Affairs called This Time It's Different. And your opening line is nearly the same, but it's a little bit more sweeping. It says, neither we nor our allies are prepared to fight an all-out war with Russia regionally or globally. So can you weigh in on these two statements? Why would generals be leaking that they don't want to fight? Are we militarily and from an equipment perspective incapable of fighting Russia today in Ukraine or anywhere else?
I'm simply saying that based upon my sources in the Department of Defense, people who are close to the senior military leadership tell me that they have made it very clear that choosing to fight Russia in Ukraine would be a serious mistake and should be avoided. That's what they've said. And I think they're being honest about that. And I think they're being truthful for a change. The second part is, are we capable of fighting? Well, of course we're capable of fighting. The real question is, if you're going to fight, will you win? Everyone in Washington in a position of authority now knows Ukraine is losing. Ukrainian resistance is crumbling. The state itself is in danger of going out of existence. That's how bad it is.
We reported on yesterday's newscast about that drone strike that hit an Iranian weapons depot inside the city of Isfahan in central Iran. Also, Israel reportedly striking an Iranian weapons convoy. Some 25 trucks were traveling near the Iraq-Syria border, presumably transiting weapons on to Syria and Lebanon to go into the hands of Iran's proxy Hezbollah. Well, Israel reportedly struck at least 6 of the trucks in that large convoy. What about Russia's response to these reported Israeli strikes over the weekend? Russia released a statement about those Israeli strikes, reported Israeli strikes, against Iran over the weekend. In particular, this Russian Foreign Ministry statement addressed that drone strike against a weapons depot inside Iran in Isfahan. Folks, I'm going to read it right from my phone. I do not want to misquote what the Russian Foreign Ministry said. It's quite stunning. The Russian Foreign Ministry said on Monday, and I quote, "We strongly condemn any provocative efforts that have the potential to provoke an uncontrolled escalation of tensions in a region that's far from being peaceful as it is. Such destructive actions could have unpredictable consequences for peace and stability in the Middle East. That has to be understood by the organizers of the brazen raid, their backers, and those who are gloating over the issue, holding on to the futile hope for the weakening of Iran."
A demonstration of U.S. military power in some of the world's most hotly contested waters as dozens of combat planes and helicopters roar on and off the flight deck of the U.S. aircraft carrier Nimitz. The Nimitz is leading a carrier strike group that entered the South China Sea 2 weeks ago. Its presence riles China, which claims historic jurisdiction over almost the entire South China Sea and sees the exercises as provocations in its backyard. The group's commander, Rear Admiral Christopher Sweeney, said it was part of a U.S. commitment to uphold freedom of passage in the waters and the airspace of a region vital to global trade. Beijing has been conducting regular exercises too, and maintains a large presence of coast guards and fishing vessels far off its mainland, a source of frequent tension with its neighbors.
Amid growing threats from North Korea, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has traveled to neighboring Seoul. There, Austin met his South Korean counterpart as Seoul pushes to bolster confidence in the American extended deterrence, its military capability, especially the nuclear force, to deter attacks on its allies. The U.S. Defense Secretary has said that his trip was aimed at deepening cooperation to tackle shared security challenges and further reaffirmed that the U.S. extended its deterrence commitment to South Korea at a time of heightened tension and provocation. Seoul and Washington will be holding tabletop exercises in February, and according to Austin, the exercises are in line with the allies' talks to expand extended deterrence activities.